It is overtime here again at Old Favorite Friday, talking about incredible classic beers. And if you checked in with us last week, you know that we talked about a Sierra Nevada beer, the Ruthless Rye, that was reissued in a mixed pack of beers that had been discontinued, that they're bringing back into the market, that were highly sought after. People were asking about them all the time. And we're just going to double up on it. We're going to go right back to Sierra Nevada, go back to the well with the Nooner Pilsner. This was a beer that came out in 2015. Now, if you know this series, I try to make the beers that we do for Old Favorite Friday by the name of the series of being at least 10 years old. So we're not quite there, but I'm cheating a little bit because I have no idea when this beer is going to come back. I don't know if they're going to bring this back next year or the year after. It might be another 5 years before we see it again, and that's way too long because this is a fantastic beer. I remember when this beer came out, I was a big fan of it then. I'm a huge fan of it now. I know it's been out of the market. I was doing a little bit of research. I don't remember exactly when they discontinued this beer for the last time, but I did a little bit of research, and it looks like about 4 or 5 years ago, somewhere around then, I heard some people, just like on Reddit posts talking about not being able to get the beer anymore. But even on Sierra Nevada's website, I couldn't find any information. So it was not out for very long. It was probably only out for a handful of years before they moved on to something else. And that is not in any way a condemnation on this beer as it is. It's spectacular. It's such a good Pilsner. And just because of the nature of the beast, this is not a style that a lot of people were gravitating towards at the time that it was released. But it comes back around now. Obviously, people love the beer, so they brought it back. And that's a testament to what the beer actually is. For those of you who have not had this in a long time or have never had it because you started drinking craft beer after this beer had been discontinued, this is a German style Pilsner. In the Pilsner style, we have traditionally, there's American Pilsners, there's different kinds of Pilsners out there, but the real classic ones are the German style and the Czech style or the Bohemian style Pilsner. If you're looking for just, blanket differences, ease of thinking about it, the German Pilsners tend to be a little less malt forward and a little bit more hoppy, a little more sharp bitterness in the way that those beers are built, which really plays into what Sierra Nevada does. They're an IPA brewery. They are a hop forward brewery. They do everything really well. If you watch Old Favorite Friday, you know that we talk about Sierra Nevada all the time, and everything they do is fantastic. But they kind of cut their teeth doing hop forward beers. So doing the German style Pilsner makes perfect sense. We do have some of those kind of classic, spicy, floral, grassy, more old world style German hop flavors coming in here, along with a little bit of lemon zest, a little pine resin, a little bit of citrus, just a hint of that, which speaks more to the New World, the California style hops. But this stays true to its roots. It's floral, it's spicy, it's grassy, and the hop flavor there is just so well done. The bitterness is so well integrated. I love the bitterness aspect of this. It just makes it so crisp, so clean, and it's a beer that I absolutely love and a style that I love. There's a lot of great pilsners out there, but this is, having this and having a couple other pilsners recently, this is one of my favorite ones that I've had in a while. So clean, so refreshing. You do get a little bit of malt flavor in there. There's a little hint of like a honeysuckle or a little breadiness. It's very faint. It's appropriate for the German style Pilsner, but it's there. It's there to round it out. So it's not just hop water. We're never going to see something like that from Sierra Nevada. They know how to balance a beer right, but it's just it's really a great beer, and it's wonderful to rediscover this beer after really loving this beer when it came out and kind of forgetting about it. Honestly, a beer's been out of the market for so long. Maybe someone mentioned, "Oh, remember Nooner Pills?" Oh yeah, but I don't. How do you remember what a beer tastes like that you haven't had in 5 6 years? You can't. So refreshing the memory on this is spectacular. It's funny thinking about Sierra Nevada and this beer because I still have a few cans of Summerfest, which is another beer they discontinued and brought back, which I love, the Summerfest lager. I've still got a few cans of Summerfest in the fridge. I also have the Fest beer, which is fantastic. It's one of my favorite Fest beers that they do every single year. And I've got this in my fridge. So right now I've got three lagers all from Sierra Nevada, and each one of them is spectacular in their own right. Each one hits the style kind of right on the nose. And I love that because when I do think of Sierra Nevada, I think of Pale Ale, I think of Optimum, I think of Torpedo, I think of the IPAs, and just being reminded, oh no, they do lagers really, really well as anybody. Uh, in addition to everything they do with their hop forward beers or their IPAs. Talking about food here, like we always do in Old Favorite Friday. Listen, go with classic buffalo wings and this Pilsner. It's going to be a good time. It's going to taste really well together. We can also go with something like fish tacos, especially if they have some spice to it. Goes really, really well with the hops here. And the bitterness is a nice complement to that. But I just actually made a dish. It was my brother-in-law kind of not created it, but it's a dish he put together. I don't know if he took it for someone else, but it was essentially a chicken dish where he made a sauce out of chicken stock, white wine, and some Dijon mustard. And that would be a fantastic. I just did this dish with my wife last week. If you put that dish together with this, it would be so good. I actually put a little curry mustard as well in there on that dish. It served it over some white rice, and it was fantastic. It was a great flavor profile. But though that mustard, the sharpness of the white wine sauce would go really well with the flavors of the hops here and that nice complementary bitterness. Mustard-based dishes go really well with this. Of course, it's a German-style Pilsner, so there's a lot of like the sausage, a lot of like the dishes like that. Breaded chicken breast, like the schnitzel, would go well as well. They were designed to pair with that kind of beer. So that's it. Sorry, getting lost in how good this beer is. I have one more beer from this mix pack that I'm going to feature on Old Favorite Friday. I think I'm going to take a break instead of doing 3 Sierra Nevada beers in a row. We'll see that sometime, hopefully in later on in the month. But we're getting into October and we're getting into the season for the pumpkin beers here. So I'll hopefully be drinking some Oktoberfest, a few pumpkin beers that I really like, and you'll be seeing them in the upcoming weeks. Thank you guys always for joining us. Please continue to like, subscribe, share this video if you are so kind to do so. Tell us what you're drinking. If you had a chance to go pick this beer up and pick up this mix pack, let us know how you're enjoying it. I certainly am going to give it one more shot at going over to Costco and getting one more because I don't want to be removed from these beers, those great beers that they brought back for too much longer. And I know I have a very short window of being able to pick them up. But we'll see you next week. Cheers.